Hi, I'm Dr. Paula Koger. I'm wanting to talk to you today about one of my new exciting passions for healing that I am making available worldwide. I already have several people that use the healing tool that I want to talk to you about, which is Cyberspace Medicine, which is biofeedback and stress release that is available in your home. By using this handset, which plugs into your computer, and you put your hand on it, or your children put your hand on it, or your neighbors put their hands on it, or you have your own clinic and you use this and people put their hands on it. The computer biofeedback analysis system analyzes the frequencies that the hand emits. Because remember, Einstein said everything is energy. Everything is energy, so consequently everything has a frequency and everything can be programmed. And when it's programmed into a computer, then the software that was developed by NASA, basically, and engineers that worked with NASA, have developed a way for the software to analyze the frequencies and send back to the client, to the patient, frequencies that would balance the stressed frequencies. Knowing the norm of a frequency, then you can send back a balancing frequency. So it's a wonderful, exciting technology that works. It works. So I have a few things that after over 40 years in the field of healthcare, I can say honestly works. This honestly works for relieving obstacles to achievement, for obstacles to self-esteem, obstacles to, I have a Hollywood producer who couldn't get his film out to the world, who voice mapped his obstacles, and he's out now, and it's being received. Most anything you want to accomplish can be done if you aren't in your way, and it's the subconscious that we have to deal with. I tell people different things, like I told a lady who couldn't sell her house after her husband died. She couldn't sell the house, and she had tried for over 10 years, and I suggested that by looking at the voice map, that what was in the way was her anger. And she said, "I'm not angry. And I said, "Well, you don't know you're angry. That's the issue with subconscious is subconscious. It's 95% of what we don't know is the subconscious. And because it's in the subconscious, the conscious mind doesn't know about it. It's hard for human beings who think they're aware of and in control of everything to recognize that they have 95% that they're not in control of. So this is a way of analyzing objectively what's in the subconscious. Then you sit and listen to music and it's released. So I want to show you how it works. So here is a screen that comes up, and I'm going to talk into the screen, into the microphone on my computer. And I'm just going to say my name is Paula, and I want to find out how I feel about myself doing this video. I want to analyze my stress about it. And I see that when I bring up the screen and click on it, I can see that I have some stress about it, like some fears about it, some feeling unworthy, to talk to the whole world and have it show up somewhere out there in cyberspace. Who knows what people are going to think about it. And then I simply put my hand on the handset, which is now in your home, and I push the record button, or the play button. Push the wrong button. Go back, no problem. And push the start button on the program, on the connect the handset. And I will start to hear music as I tune into my fears about doing this worldwide presentation on the webinar. But you will be in the privacy of your home. You will not be exposed to the entire nation. You will simply be recording your fears and then sitting while the computer helps you release them, and while myself, Dr. Koger, tunes into intuitively what might be contributing to this feeling of unworthiness and fear in this case. For the woman who couldn't sell her house, she simply finally gave up her resistance to knowing that she was angry because her first husband had created some clauses in his will that had tied her hands with trying to sell the house and fix it up and everything like that. So she released that, and now there's less obstacles to selling the house. I've had many people have successes with everything they were doing that wasn't working, and including releasing physical illnesses, because behind every physical illness there is a block or several blocks emotionally and mentally that are contributing to it. So now I want to record again. I just want to record again and see what's happened. I want to see if there have been any changes in my voice frequency pattern that tells me honestly how I feel about doing this webinar, my comfort level. And what happens now is I've gone into a deeper level of feelings about this. And so what I would do is play it again, feel my feelings, feel some anger that has come up, not unusual. What I'm wanting you to understand is that we are human beings who have feelings. Our feelings are not always known or understood, and we are always very private about our feelings. It's one of the things that makes it hard to heal humans, because our society has created an expectation on us that we sit down and shut up, be quiet, don't cry, don't be mad, don't show your feelings. It's like this great pretense that's out here in the world about how we should and should not be expressing who we really are, and we've lost touch with the understanding of what emotions contribute to illnesses and disease and stress. So we have difficulty healing. We use more suppressive treatments, drugs that stop our feelings. I saw that when I was a psychiatric nurse and I was a professor of nursing, and I took students into the psychiatric ward, and I also worked as a psychiatric nurse. And when anybody came in upset, nobody says, well, what are you upset about? You know, what are you feeling? They would always just give them a shot or give them a pill, or give them electroconvulsive therapy, whatever they were doing to stop the feelings. I was also a school nurse, and oh man, that was fun, because I got to teach children how to feel and how to feel appropriately and express their feelings appropriately. Well, in this method, it's a completely harmless way of releasing emotion. Nobody suffers. You don't blame anybody else, and you sit and heal what it is. So now I'm just going to talk again and record it once more. And when I've done enough to release the pattern of stress associated with doing webinars, it will show at the top of the screen a release pattern. It's not there yet, so I would keep going until that red release comes up. And when that has come up, then it will clear all obstacles to doing these webinars and getting them out into the world and helping people understand that it is our subconscious stress, which is 95% of our stress, that is causing our disease, which is causing our difficulties in interacting with people. I have a client who is a couple who come to see me, and they're analyzing the stress that they have between each other and dealing with it in a healthy way by owning each of their stresses, releasing each of their stresses about relationships. And what's happening is their feeling of love and caring for each other is becoming more evident. They're able to express their love. They're able to communicate their love. They're able to find their connection. Many people who are in relationship with their spouses and with the world don't really have a connection that they're comfortable with. So not only does this help heal diseases of the body, it heals diseases of relationship, diseases of our self-perception, and how we put that out to the world. I actually have a doctor in Oregon who has been treated for Lyme's disease, but in the process of treating the Lyme's disease, which he went to a holistic doctor and was getting mostly well, but the relationship part, the emotional part, had not been dealt with, and so he was still crippled in his patterns, actions with his family and spouse, and he's now healing that and taking charge in a dramatic way of his life. It is so important and so doable to move ourselves into a whole new realm of satisfaction. But I'll tell you one thing about human beings is we are very resistant to change, and it is the biggest challenge of a doctor like myself to help people find their ability to feel and be comfortable with change, or even want to change, because we are so comfortable in our misery because we know it. And most of the time, diseases are there because we're in this pattern of whatever kind of stress or unworthiness we're in, and our ability to change it and our willingness to change it is held back by the very presence of what is causing the pattern of stress that is causing the disease. But we're attached to it because it is the familiar. It's what we know. It's what we do. It's what we've always done. And the interesting thing about voice printing is that we identify all the family members that you have stress with, and we clear each family member, because most of the present stress we have comes from the generations of stress. Our great-great-great-great-grandmother, who was held in prison or divorced or whatever happened, left, abandoned, or whatever, is now affecting us. And that pattern is still there in our energetic DNA. And once we clear it, we are clear that pattern, then we clear that pattern, then we clear that pattern. And the more we clear, the closer we get to just being clear. Expressions of who we are, joyful, energetic, happy, free self. So voice mapping can be maybe the second. I have one more that's even more dramatic, but this is maybe the first to say, or second thing in the world you can do to help yourself become clearer and release the stresses. You also voice map ex-spouses, lovers, people that have hurt you and traumatized you, and that memory kind of stuck in your cells. Because what the interesting thing about all this is that it sticks in your organs, like shocks and traumas stick in the thyroid or in the throat chakra, the victimization chakra. It causes a lot of people to have weight gain from having too many traumas in the thyroid, and stops the functioning of the thyroid. So this YouTube is getting a little long, and so I'm going to have to cut it short, but I'm still in release pattern for doing the webinars, but I'll continue until I am. And maybe this is it. It is! There it is. I'll show you the release pattern. So when it's released, you get a red release pattern shows up on the screen. And now I can be more certain that my webinars are going to get out there in a nice, successful way, because I've released my stress about it. Isn't that wonderful? What do you want to release? I'm anxious to work with you. It's fun.